Hey YouTube, this is Southern Purple One. Welcome to Boots on the Ground. Let's get right into it. Got a lot to cover. Our small business of the day is actually a company we've already showcased, but they're Integrity Soap Company, and they make great soaps. I've actually used some of their soaps, and high quality, natural products. So go check them out. See if you can find some great Christmas gifts. They did say they're keeping their cost the same, but after January 1st, they will be raising their prices just because all of their costs have going up. So it's Integrity Soap. Makes great stocking stuffers for sure. Let's get right into it. The third Russian air base was set ablaze by a drone strike. Ukraine is using longer range weapon systems and they're attacking deep inside of Russia. This could definitely cause an escalation of the war. So hopefully it does not, but there's many articles out there about this. This is from Moorefield, West Virginia. An early morning fire damaged the boiler room at Pilgrim's Pride chicken processing plant in Moorefield Tuesday. The fire crew cleared the scene, so it's put out right now. No word on what started the blaze, and I don't have a report on how many or how much of the plant was destroyed or damaged. There was no injury, so that was great. The plant does employ 1,000 workers. My grandmother told me a story of a very young boy, and it inspired my wife to try this. When my grandmother was a young girl, my great-grandmother made her a heavy winter blanket as a gift one year. My grandmother was a child of the Depression and didn't have much, so she treasured that blanket for many, many years. Several years after her mother passed, my grandmother's blanket had finally reached a point after much patching where it was no longer salvageable. My grandmother decided that since the blanket was irreparable, she was going to remove all the stitches and examine the batting, as it was the warmest blanket she's ever had. The batting was an olive green with black lettering on it and was falling apart. My grandmother was baffled as she had never seen such batting. She showed it to my grandfather, a veteran, who instantly recognized it as a 100% wool army blanket issued to troops in World War II. Long story short, we went to Harbor Freight and bought several of the $12 blankets. They're 80-20 wool blankets. And after a gentle washing and hand drying, we use these blankets as battings for the quilts. It turns out wonderful. Family members request these blankets as gifts every year. And so far, she has made one for roughly half of the immediate family, myself, and both our kids. This is a fantastic way to make a heavy, warm, and durable blanket. Each blanket costs around $25, depending on other fabric used. Hopefully this can help someone stay warm this winter. Just found out today that our rural county operating trash station is being privatized. A 39-gallon size bag of trash is going from $3 to $6. A box mattress disposable is going from $9 to $25. People either go back to getting their garbage picked up at their home, or they'll just throw the garbage in the woods and forests. You either can't afford it or you can. So there's probably going to be a lot of illegal disposing of trash with these higher fees. My wife wanted to order food on DoorDash tonight. It was going to be about $80 to $100 for my small family of 3 to get our favorite food delivered. I told her to boil some potatoes, carrots, and peas instead. And I went and picked up 2 rotisserie chickens at Costco. When I got home, we had an awesome dinner for about $11 and used some stuff we've already had. And we had enough chicken left over for 3 to 4 more meals. We made some chicken soup. Although my wife and I make a lot, I've been trying to gently move my family to be more thrifty over the next few months and build up our savings. Also trying to keep some cash out in case of power outages. Me and my wife use the rotisserie chicken all the time. We love it when we first get it home. And then we have numerous meals from it. For only 2 people, we get a lot of life out of that rotisserie chicken. My day is drawing to an end, but one last note, and they wrote me a whole mess of stuff, and I appreciate it. I told the hubby to let the wood stove burn out so we could clean the flue tomorrow. Rather than run the furnace on a warm winter night, I grabbed the Mr. Heater Buddy, the Buddy Heater, and a 5-pound cylinder. Only we neglected to get the correct adapter for the filter to the hose connected. Now I still could use the 1-pound bottles, but they do not last all night. So mental note to self, dry run all new equipment is wise, especially with a hard winter bearing down on us. I echo that too. If you bought something for a prepping situation, survival situation, get it out right now, use it. You might decide, hey, they sent it to you broken in the box, brand new. It has happened to me. So check every piece of equipment that you're going to rely on. While prices have been steadily increasing, we've been lucky to have experienced no recent shortage until today. At Costco, there was a limit of 2 packages of eggs. This is the first time since the early pandemic of 2020 that I have seen the supply of something become limited. Not a good sign. I have no longer have faith in our government leaders to inform us what is coming or to fix a problem that just leaves us on our own, except for God. Keep praying. No one is alone. And if you have faith in prayer, God's got this. My husband and I are very frugal. So when we started doing this, it was amazing to us. We made tons of bone broth that we used to throw out the bones and leftovers from the pot. One day we got out the meat grinder, ran all that stuff, including our bones, through the grinder for dog and cat food. We freeze it in Ziplocs, and when it's needed to be fed, we add green beans or other vegetables and rice for a wonderful meal for our pets. They love it. So tell everyone not to throw out the bones and the broth, but to grind them up, freeze them, and have a healthy, nutritious meal in case we can't afford food. They don't care about freezer burns either. So excellent for pet food, but you know what's scary? Realistically, in a year or two, we might be using the bones to feed ourselves. I just want to make a suggestion to folks that are unhappy with the fresh produce prices and the freshness at the grocery store. Americans are used to abundance of fresh produce year-round, but I only buy what's in season. A large percentage of what people are using to buy in December, January, February is not even grown in the U.S. If people would learn to buy local in season, they'd be much happier with their purchases. Just a note to let you know, this solar generator that you helped me purchase really saved me this week. A tornado hit my house and property on Wednesday, and allowed me to keep everything in my fridge and freezer from spoiling. Thankful I did not have my panels out, but I did have the generator charged when it hit. And I also ran my ice maker, which was good since I could not leave the house and nobody could get on my street for several days. Please stress the importance of this. And they were in Alabama. I think this was last week. I also got a report from someone inside the North Carolina area where they have no power from the broken, vandalized, blown up, shot up transformer, the one that was damaged. They were using their solar generator and was very happy to have one. These people are very careful with their power usage, trying to cut back. We've been slowly converting 100% to LED bulbs inside and out. Our heating is a heat pump, very common heater system. Word to the wise, these systems react slowly, so set it at what you want to live at and forget it. Also, close off rooms you don't need, block off doorways and hallways covering openings with moving blankets, pads. I work at a poultry processing plant. Starting next week, the plant will be sending the MDM meat. It looks like potted meat. And the leg quarters to the off hall where the guts and the feathers go. It's not just the company I work for, but other companies doing the same thing. Such a waste of food, but the prices are too low for them to make a profit on. I don't understand why, as I thought there was a shortage of chicken with the bird flu. I am in Mississippi, and I've worked in maintenance here for 30 some odd years and never seen this before. Unbelievable. This person, they bought a treadle and they have a hand crank sewing machine and getting proficient with it and learning to repair it. Neither requires power. They're collecting supplies at thrifts and garage sales, and if things really get bad, we can sew and repair clothes by the machines even with power. Just one way to have a barter income if needed. This is Ohio. This past week, I made a deposit in my U.S. bank account, $200 cash. I gave them my debit card. The teller told me that they had to swipe my driver's license. I asked why. The teller told me that she couldn't make a deposit without the license because the system required it. This is a praise report. I made a small change, like a nightlight in the bathroom. I use that unless I'm showering, and other changes have reduced my power bill. So that is great news. People are trying to save and conserve every way they can. A dozen eggs at the ShopRite are over $5. The same dozen eggs at Aldi's are $4.09. Another interesting tip about Aldi's: people are not returning their carts to retrieve their 25-cent deposit. They leave them in the parking lot for me to cash in. I got 6 carts in 5 minutes for $1.50 total. I guess people do not care about football anymore, so it is not important to get the quarterback. A little humor there. The Big Lot store down the street is closing. When I checked on the deals and spoke to the cashier, I was notified that 3 other Big Lots are closing in the area. And this would be in Northern California, I believe. All 3 stores are within 13 miles of where I live. I was told that one that's closing because of the homeless problem. I'm assuming they have lots of theft, because within the last 6 months, I saw a guy fill up a cart and ran out of the side door to get a getaway car. I'm not sure why the other stores are closing. The cashier said that they were not told whether the company is going out of business. So I think it's just those local stores. They said, I tried looking online and found an article mentioning shoplifting as probably the cause. This is MKR, reporter down in Australia. The Reserve Bank of Australia today raised mortgage interest rates for the 8th time this year, 8th month in a row, thus pushing Australians with mortgages further into financial distress and paying many hundreds of dollars more per month on the mortgages than they did at the beginning of the year. One of Australia's biggest banks, Westpac, immediately raised its mortgage rates. And the Reserve Bank says rates will continue to rise next year when the Reserve Bank meets next time, which is going to be in February. They don't meet in January. This is causing a lot of people's mortgages in Australia are tied to the interest rates, and when they go up, their mortgage rates go up, and it is decimating people with bills that they're really not going to be able to afford. This is from our good friend that works in the natural and organic food store in Chicago area. Area shelves are still 3/4 full, 3/4 full. And morale is sinking like that of the Titanic. Many departments are understaffed, and it shows right on through the entire store with shortages of products on the shelves. This person has been sending me a lot of information, and I can genuinely tell this person cares about their job. They care about their customers. I can just tell it in their voice, what's being typed to me. They're trying their best to give 100% to these customers and to help people. I commend you. You get my salute for the day. Thank you. My kids, I don't tell my kids a lot about what's going on in the current situation out there. It's going on in the world economically and politically. I don't want them to be burdened down by this, so I don't watch a lot of YouTube in front of them. My daughter had a migraine, so they had to go to the hospital, and they had to be there all day. And they actually sent me pictures where they took the hallway, turned them into cubicles for rooms because they're so swamped. I showed my son a picture of our room, and he said, at least you have something to share with boots on the ground now. The medical system is collapsing. If you would have told me 5 years ago all of the problems with our medical system, I would not have believed you. I have a lot of friends in the medical system, but it is getting bad and getting worse. A boil water notice is in Fort Myers. It might be already lifted. It was yesterday. There was a break in a water main. So, as we saw what happened with the transformer in North Carolina, a broken water main in Florida, emergencies can pop up. So don't think, well, I'll have time to prepare for an emergency. No, be 100% prepared right now for everything. You might not have time to fill up your water bottles or to charge up your solar generator or to do anything. Get ready right now. The hospital in Anderson, South Carolina had a 16-hour wait tonight. The nurses told us they had 25 people waiting on beds to open up. The only place they had to wait was in the ER. They said they were short-staffed and lots of people coming in. Just a reminder, with the price of greens going up so high, you can supplement what you available at the store by sprouting seeds such as lentils, alfalfa, flax, and all kinds of other ones. Typically, the sprouts will have the increase in nutritional value compared to the seeds. Sprouting is very easy. Plus, the sprouts can be eaten raw, cooked with other veggies, added as part of the stir fry, even added to some baked products. Totally recommend doing this. This is good old Pepsi is laying off workers at the headquarters of the North American Snack and Beverage Division. They're definitely doing some corporate belt tightening. Hundreds of jobs will be eliminated. They've already raised their prices, and I think they're going to raise them again. PepsiCo makes Doritos, the Lay's potato chips, Quaker Oats, and they employ about 309,000 people, which 129,000 of those are in the United States. This person received their electric bill, and inside it was information about rolling blackouts that could be beginning, supplying to 26 million customers in Texas. The letter explained members must be prepared for possible power outages without advance warning. The letters go on to say if you depend on electric powered medical equipment to arrange for alternative source of electricity. Thankfully, we hired a local company to install solar panels and a battery backup system. There are about 2 days of work left before our system is complete, and that's going to be so nice when you can rely on that in an emergency. I want to tell you what I've experienced today. First, I'm in my mid-60s and been prepping for over 3 years. We are in good shape. Being in that shape, I only have to go to the grocery store about every 6 weeks. I live in Maine, and everything is so expensive, from food to heating oil here. Well, at the grocery store tonight, I noticed that all the produce did not look good, not fresh by any means. 3 months ago, it wasn't like this. There was absolutely no lettuce or spinach. The meat section looked awful too. The meat looked old, and most only dated good until tomorrow. Plus, the selection was awful. No ice cream, maybe 1 or 2 containers. No water either. And other things just did not look right. A dozen eggs were $9. Yikes. I'm afraid things will only get worse because of this. I will not go out to eat for sure because the food might not be good like the grocery store. To top it off, I got a few bags of groceries and it was $200. Another kick in the teeth is that our electric bill here in Maine are going up 49% in January. Keep up the good work on these videos. I think the Northeast is going to need prayers this year. I think all of us will need prayers this year in 2023. Around 6 p.m. it was dark out and we heard 3 gunshots. I went into the unlit room and peeked out the window. There was 2 vehicles stopped across from my house. People were walking around with flashlights. This is not normal for this small town in the suburbs. I called 911 and told them about the gunshots and asked if there were police at the scene. They said a car hit a deer. This was a trial run for us. We stayed inside where we were protected if things went astray. We called 911. Thank God the gunshots were to end the misery of the deer and not something else. After finding out what was going on, I went out hoping they would not want the deer, but that did not happen. They said they were coming back to get it. Is there anything else we could have done better? Question mark. We do have protection. It was just a good test, a mental test. I'm glad you didn't go outside right away. Luckily, it was just an accident, but always be prepared to defend yourself. The police might be far, far away. 20, 30-minute response time. You need to be able to handle your personal protection. Good evening. We have heard you say the others that have had items spoiled before the best by date. We have used milk products many times a week after the best by date. Not anymore. My sweetheart wanted eggnog once a year. That time is here. I purchased him a half a gallon and it spoiled 2 days before the best by date. Last week I purchased milk at our local Dollar General. The pitcher's attached. The best by date is tomorrow. Notice the curdling. This came straight from our refrigerator. Just more and more reports of things not lasting. My mom in Florida, homeowners insurance went up $746 this year. She lives in an older, smaller home that my great-grandfather built, and she is not near the coastline. She's in a small town. She has had no claims ever for this home. This is a huge financial blow to her, and she was caught off guard by the rate increase. They also said we got a tip that the restaurant supply distributor will allow the public one-time access to their grocery store because restaurants are not purchasing as much as they used to and they need the business. We plan on checking this out and hopefully buying meat and etc. at a discount, and they're in Nebraska. So that is good news for maybe getting some deals on some food. Terrible news. This was a $746 increase for this lady. If you're not planning for that, that is very bad. So there you go. There's some boots on the ground. I hope you're prepping. I hope you're preparing. I hope you're praying. Do not worry about things you can't control. You will go crazy. You can't control a lot of things in this world. You can control what's happening in your family. You can control relationships. You can control building relationships and just putting stuff back and preparing for a rainy day. Thanks for watching.